Welcome to CSLDallas, a spiritual community deep in the heart of Texas, connecting with kindred spirits around the world. You are invited to explore or dive right into our powerful teachings, practices, mystical experiences, and heart-opening connections. This month, we explore the journey of life as we grow ourselves, co-create with the universe, and experience joy while transforming the world one life at a time. We're so glad to have you here in community, whether in person or virtually. So let's get it started with some uplifting music with our fabulous band and CSL Dallas music team.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a special morning where we honor the past and build toward the future. I have the privilege this morning of being the platform assistant. My name is Michael Grundy. So let's begin with our purpose statement. We are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, and transforming lives. And so it is. Hey, we want to give a huge thank you and a shout out to our Adventures in Spirits community. Staff and the volunteers who helped our mailing and stuffing party yesterday. The names should be on the slide. So, you guys can read the names, but just in case you can't, okay? Valerie, Joe Tinker, Kia, Cleo, Raven, Christine, Sherry, JL, Aaron, Joe, Carol, and Bill, Leah, and her sons, Brock, Marcy, Jerry, Jan, more. David, Tom, and Georgianne, and Kathy, and Ann, and Darlene, and Glenda Franklin, and Joseph, and Rhonda, and our amazing staff, Carmen Frey, Ryan, and Ty, who prepared all the materials. So this is a special morning and a special day, so it's going to be kind of different. So I want you to now get ready for our gratitude and our release ritual with Dr. Peacher and the ritual team. We haven't forgotten you folks online. And here's Dr. Peacher to tell you all what we're going to be doing.
All right. So, as we have been going through our changes, thinking about how we're moving forward and beginning to unleash CSLDallas 3.0, we do actually have to do a conscious ending. I used to be really bad at that. I was the one who, before the party was over, would sneak out so I wouldn't have to say goodbye to anybody. I know, isn't that weird? Oh, gosh. And I am, I usually had something started before I ended the previous thing. So I hear some recognition in the room, right? So because that middle time of uncertainty is so unpleasant, and we're afraid, it's just the weirdest thing. We're afraid that if we let go of what we have, no matter how unsatisfying it is, or even if it's good, but we let go of what we have, somehow we believe that whatever we're going to get next is going to be worse. And we know better. We know that as we consciously move in the direction that life is unfolding, it can only be better. We have all the good that we have, and we move forward. So I have had to learn how to do conscious endings and feel the feelings that come with an ending. It's so annoying. And I'd much rather be happy and excited and going for it, right? Because I'm clearly a future-oriented person. But we can't avoid the change that comes and the release. So that's what we're doing today. So this is how this time period is going to go. The first thing we're going to do is Richard Williamson did made an amazing video for us in 2005 when we moved into this sanctuary in the space across the way, Suite 115, a beautiful video called Manifesting Our Dreams. And it's, an hour long easily. It's brilliant. And he has cut that down to an 8-minute video. I know, right? Woo! So we are collectively online and in person. We're going to watch that 8-minute video. It's it's really important to tell our stories, right? And to tell our stories about what we've accomplished, where we've been, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and to honor those that were participating. So we're going to see the video. Then those of us in the room, we're going to get up and we're going to walk across the hall to Pankey Hall. And we're going to have an opportunity. We're going to see the gratitude quilt that was made during the move, actually in gratitude to the previous space where we were on Alpha and Midway. And in gratitude for CSLDallas, we're going to see that quilt. We're going to do a gratitude blessing, spiritual mind treatment. And you in the room, you're going to each receive autumn leaves, right? Because it's autumn, and it's the perfect symbol of release. Why are we able to love autumn? It's beautiful, but what else? We know that they're going to come back, right? The leaves are going to regrow in the spring. It's not like, they fall and that's that. And all of those leaves that are falling are creating rich, rich soil for those new leaves to grow. So our metaphor for today is the releasing of those leaves. So when we're over there, I'm going to remind you, I'd like you to walk around, go to all of your favorite places over there, and you'll have a couple of leaves, and to strew them on the floor, to allow them to drop from the tree, and say your gratitude, right? And release. So one of the things I've learned from Karen, Reverend Karen, my beloved, is I probably think I said this the other day. When she's helping someone sell a house, she reminds them, stop saying it's my house. I got to sell my house. Start saying it's the house. right? And so as we do this process, we want to move to the space, the suite, not our suite, the suite, because we're making space for somebody to have an amazing space over the next 4.5 years. Remember, we're still leasing it. It's still ours, and we will be able to have it back. But at the moment, we quite frankly don't need it. So we're going to let somebody else use it. So this is our opportunity for gratitude and release. You're going to go on your own. You're going to do your thing, and then you're going to come back into this space on your own. While that's happening, for those of you online, Richard has made another 10-minute clip of this beautiful video so that you can continue to have gratitude and honor those people and all that went on in the creation of this campus. For those of you who maybe don't want to go over there, or if you're done quickly and you come back in, the video will also be playing in here. So, and then we'll close the ritual with I release, and then we have just a really beautiful medley that Shar and Glenda are going to share with us to keep moving the day along. We'll have a little talk about building the future. And we'll close our celebration together. So that's the shape of the day. That's what we're up to. So just invite you to settle back. And open your hearts to all the feels, right? You got to open your heart to all the feels.
We needed a new space and we needed a new church home because we were busting out at the seams on Sunday morning.
Coming into the space as it existed, it was such a jumble of stuff.
I had to quickly learn how to multitask. You got this bottom stuff cut, right?
I'm building my church.
We had 6 people having desks and offices in 2.5 office spaces. 3 people were actually in the reception area. And our kids were cramped. We didn't have enough room for our classes.
I actually found the very building that we are now occupying.
John Ferry approached me in the workroom at the other church and asked me if I was interested in managing the project. And I accepted. I didn't even have to think about it.
I became involved just as a member of the congregation and wanting to move out of the cramped space that we were in.
If Randy wasn't here, we'd still be working on this place.
I had discretionary time, and I chose to spend it here in this facility, building this church.
The 24-hour prayer vigil was an incredibly beautiful evening. 24 dedicated people signed up to spend an hour in Peter's office and to pray and hold consciousness for the church.
We wanted to bless the building before we finished it. So we had people come, and we started out in here. And then we sent the practitioners and different people that had worked in different spaces. We sent them all over the building with candles and incense. And everybody smudged different rooms and different places. And the practitioners did prayer. Congregants went all over the building. I asked Susan to stay in here in the sanctuary as sort of the main place and as our construction manager. And we had the board of trustees out in the foyer, in the courtyard, and it was just an amazing experience. And Michael started to sing, and as people were coming back from their rooms with the blessings, we started to sing in this space, and it was unbelievable. When we started singing in this room, it was amazing. It was really. It felt like we were starting to come home. Pretended to be a church that knew how to create this miracle, and then we did, and I believe that everything that the church does is, I think it's a demonstration of what people can do in their own lives.
I stood in this space and spoke into this room and claimed it. You could feel the shift after that day, you could feel the shift in the building. As a construction site, it was no longer a construction site at that point.
We are on blessed ground.
I was glad that everybody came and that everybody took the active part, and it was home that day.
We all decided to sign the cavity of a wall before the wall got closed in. And we chose Peter's office because we knew that Peter's office was going to be the last rooms to be finished. It was an emotional time for me the day that I closed that wall. So I felt that we are in this place. We are in this place.
When that wall was closed, it was down to the 11th hour. Some skeptics would walk in and say, there's a lot of work to be done. You think you're going to get it done? You don't have a chance. Yes, we do. It will be done. We will open up for business on the 14th.
I was really hitting it hard, and we were here all the time.
At that point, we had some folks, Veronica and Lisa, and people who came night after night after night after night.
We had so much fun, and we worked, and we sat around after we stopped working, and then even though we were so exhausted and so done, we'd sit around for another hour after we'd stopped working and just talk and then reminisce about all that happened hours before that, and just laugh and laugh and laugh.
We got done by 2 o'clock on the 14th. I feel very humbled to think about the possibilities of the lives that we will touch, because 270 people gave up some portion of 5 months of their life to build something bigger. It's really about healing the planet. It will make a difference in the life of every person who ever walks through these doors. So I want to say thank you for being a part of that and making it possible.
And I want to thank all the people that sit in those chairs. I learned as much as they did. When people came to me and said, I don't know how to do that, and I'd say, just pretend like you do. Just think about it for a minute and pretend that you do know. What would you do if you just pretend and then do it? Those moments that I had, those individual moments that I had with people, I will never forget. I had very precious moments. It was my faith in the people that showed up, and their talent and their skill and their willingness and their humor and laughter and determination to build this space and to claim it as their own. So I am humbled by the people that showed up and their willingness to give and to be part of this project. I am honored to have served this community in this way.
Will you build me a house? A house that really will be mine. Then let me give you my design. A simple scheme of the house I dream of. Make the floor of faith. Make the walls of truth. Put a roof of peace above. Only build my house of love.
those of you who don't know, that was Susan Pankey, for whom Pankey Hall is named after. And of course, you saw Randy Stem for our STEM room, and all the other names of all the people that participated and contributed. So, yeah. And so it's time to release that. It's like moving out of the family home. It's like letting the kids go to college. It's the deep release to make space for what's next. We certainly did it moving in here, and now we begin that next process of transformation. So I'm going to invite you to move with me over to Pankey Hall. And as you enter Pankey Hall, you're going to take a couple leaves from the baskets that they'll have at the door and meet me in Pankey Hall. Just stay there. And for those of you who are online or who don't want to walk around, you can stay here. And Richard has made us another 10-minute video while we're having our ritual over there. So please join me over in Pankey Hall.
And we sat in that meeting and laughed at him and said, there's no way. We're talking about, a handful of people coming in every night, every weekend, over and over and over again. So rather than 10 days, we actually had 4 months in which to do our job, and we needed every minute.
When people came to me and said, I don't know how to do that, and I'd say, just pretend like you do. Just think about it for a minute and pretend that you do know. What would you do if you just pretend, and then do it?
Apparently I have that look. They said this guy better be on the broom or maybe washing windows. So anytime I was able to track down Susan, she said, you did the windows last time. Why don't you do that again? You did such a good job.
Randy, in particular, took me under his wing one day and taught me how to use a table saw. I'd never done that before. And taught me how to use a nail gun, which I was terrified to use.
I pulled out like 200 fluorescent bulbs.
I was the cleaning girl, the recycling girl, towel girl, paint. They hung a door with Reverend Petra. How great is that?
I put in the Ministry of Prayer door. And I put in every screw. I screwed every screw in.
And I hung a window, which was something I had never done, never imagined myself doing. But I did it, and I think it looks pretty good.
We decided to put texture on all the walls because the taping and bedding process was all done by volunteers, so it would cover up the imperfections of the taping and bedding process. And Pat Chavanaugh, he brought in a big air compressor and his hopper, and he donated that material for us to use.
I started out afraid of heights, miserably afraid of heights. And I painted that top line 25 feet up on the sanctuary 3 times, and I got progressively braver. At first, Randy and Susie had to roll me around on the scaffolding, and I finally got to where I could climb up and down myself. And I sweated more in that 2 weeks than I have in a long time.
I was up working high in the rafters on a cliff, and I turned around and smacked my head on a beam. But overlooking me was Andre sticking his head through a window, and he looked like he had hit the beam.
Pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of floor leveler had to be chipped out and scraped out. And I can remember being in there with Adam, one of our teens, and Renee, Bryant, and Dale Leach, and we're just sweating up a storm. I thought, well, this is one way to sweat your prayers.
I would always have to take my shirt off, so I would just work in what used to be a men's sports bra, but now you can tell that this is the color of the rails. So one night, we were getting ready to have our cool beverage after a hard night's work, and I got to looking around for my shirt, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I said, who's got my shirt? Who's got my shirt? And lo and behold, I look, and our favorite minister had took my shirt and used it as a rag.
I did lay a little subflooring in it there
convince somebody I'm a real man, I can, mention I did subflooring.
I came in here knowing absolutely nothing about construction except that I didn't know anything about it. And I did taping and bedding, as a matter of fact, in this room.
I learned how to tape and bed and worked on all these walls up here on the second floor.
And what I did was went in there for about 2.5 hours and did the primer. Just primed it, the entire walls, ceiling down to the floor, every single inch. And it was just a magical, wonderful experience thinking about the love and healing and treatment that's going to be happening in that room and throughout the entire community.
They said we have to take every bit of adhesive up before we can put the new floor down. So my experience from my own house, I scraped it off with a razor, a big wide razor knife. So we scraped, and that's how I knew to scrape the floor. So we all took a turn on a small section, and we decided, okay, everybody take a turn, and this will be done.
Scraping the nasty gooey adhesive off under this carpet.
Scraping is about 1 hour. This is worth about 20 hours of typing on the computer.
And I spilled some ice cubes on the floor. And so we got to talking later on that day, and I scraped my foot in that wet puddle where I had spilled those ice cubes, and that glue just came right up on my shoe. And I was so embarrassed because we had already done a good majority of that floor by scraping it dry and just sheer muscle.
I worked really hard on your office.
So I am the tile guy. The vinyl composition tile, VCT, that's me. I'm a musician, obviously, and so these kind of skills do not come to me naturally. But Susan said, I can show you, and show me she did. So by the end of it, I was showing everybody else how to lay the tile, and I just, for the record, the place in the fellowship hall where it doesn't line up, that is not my fault. I didn't do that. I was not here resolving myself of all blame. It's beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I didn't do it.
The patterns would get messed up, especially in the fellowship hall. We always called Susan or Randy to come and save the day. When in reality, perfection was not required.
It was fun to work with Emery. Emery really wanted to pitch in and help. And just to let Susan know, I still love you, even though you do give me all the crummy jobs.
It wasn't always fun and happy. For instance, putting in the floor here in the fellowship hall, there was oftentimes a little tension. We were told to put it in very tightly, and that things would kind of get off, and so there was a little bit of attention there, but it looks beautiful, and it worked out great.
It was fun working here.
The wonderful glue that you use to put those things down, as I'm sure many people have experienced, is very, very, very sticky. So by the time I finished with that task, I had glue in places that I can't even mention. I was so sticky, there was no way I could get in my car and drive home. So I had to remove my pants in the parking lot, no less. I was so glad it was dark, and drive home without them. I can tell you for a fact that I have never in my life, in all of my years, prayed so hard on the way home not to get stopped.
Some of the moments that I remember with great fondness is dancing to the music. There was so much music going on in this building, both in terms of the energy of the people and also the actual sounds of the rock and roll.
There's some kind of experience of volunteering that's sort of peaceful. You get told, go find a broom, and I don't know where it is, and that's part of your job, and do the best you can finding a broom.
Painting the ceiling in the sanctuary. We got up there and Susie had the gun in her hand and she was ready. We just looked at each other and smiled. We were very excited about it. So she pulled the trigger and nothing came out, and we just kind of looked at each other and went, oh hell. We were up there and we tried to make it work for a while. She found out the next day that the paint was too thick.
And we were always the glamour girls because I always came straight from work and I always forgot to change my earrings. So Susie was always making fun of me because I always had sparkly earrings, necklaces on with my t-shirts.
My fondest memory of scraping paint off of this and other spots throughout the church where people had painted where they weren't supposed to paint.
I helped sand and paint a couple of the walls in the kitchen. We got our fabulous bed.
I helped with the floors, and I helped in the nursery.
I did just about anything you can think of.
I grilled. I fed people.
I just did whatever Susan told me.
That's kind of what we all did.
And I'm Lauren. I moved a lot of boxes. Help out church.
Did a lot of stuff in the fellowship hall, a lot of mudding, and I got to use the big toy thing. I painted in the nursery. I scrubbed some floors.
We just got crazy with spray paint and everything. It was great. It was so much fun.
I came up with a plan for a mural.
I think this wall really brought us together, and it was a lot of fun.
For 3 days, I was in the women's bathroom, and this is not a bad thing. The plumber was working in there. He says, "You're going to be a duckhead if you spend any more time in here." So, in addition to feeling that I have a personal relationship with the tile and the floor in the bathroom, I feel that I have earned my designation as a resident duckhead. Thank you very much.
And it's amazing what you can talk about while you're scraping floors or taping and bedding. Really had some interesting conversations.
From building the stage to painting to sanding to having 5 16-year-olds work with me one Sunday and glue the wrong side of the floorboards. It's all been very interesting.
It just felt wonderful to come over and be a part of the transformation.
Just had a great time helping make this a church home.
We weren't very efficient, but we tried, and we learned how to put the blue on the ceiling, and after multiple tries, we sort of got a rhythm going, didn't we?
I feel like now I own this building because I walk on that floor and I think, wow, I did that.
And the day that it opened, I stood here and I cried because I had a home.
Tended to be a church that knew how to create this miracle, and then we did. We did, and I believe that everything that the church does is, I think it's a demonstration of what people can do in their own lives.
when I thought I had to do it all for myself. But I did know the grace of God was sufficient, and I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Let it all go. And this is what we have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for From the day we arrive on this planet and blinking step into the sun, there is more to be seen than can ever be seen, more to do than can never be done. There's far too much to take in here, and so much we have to give. But with the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky, each great and small on the endless ride, it's the circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune. It's the leap of faith. It's the journey of hope till we find our place on the path Some of us soar to the stars. Some of us just go through our troubles. And some have to live with the scars. But there's so much more to take in here, more to find that can never be found. But with the sun in the sky, lighting up the path to our great and small on the endless ride, it's the circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, to faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding, in the circle of life.
Glenda and Josie and Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie, and Candy, and Brad, Jonathan, and Matt's away and so Jason and Jason on the drums. Oh my gosh, and our fabulous team upstairs who got our videos going, and Richard Williamson. Oh my gosh. Did you have the feels? Are you still having the feels? Oh my God. Woo! Yes, and no matter what, right? No matter what, when the kids grow off to school and you got to get rid of the family home and yada, 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 we're still family, right? It happens in families, it happens in organizations, it happens in communities like ours. This beautiful, ongoing, organically unfolding life that we're a part of, right? So, you heard Susan Pankey say, well, just pretend that you know what you're doing. That's sort of the story of CSLDallas. We have been on that road again since the pandemic. I said to Ryan the first Sunday we were closed, and it was he and I and a little camera, and I said, I don't know how to do this. Actually, I had a complete meltdown. And he said, yeah, just pretend you know how to do it. Just, go for it. Just go for it. Just go for it. He held my hand through that, right? That's what we do as family and community. We support each other when we have no clue as to what we're supposed to do next or how it's going to unfold. And yet, it does, because we have faith and trust, and we have each other. We have the passion and the commitment and the vision and the love, and we ride the changes, right? I will tell you that the volunteer parties that we've had this last month have meant so much to me. I have missed you. I miss you, those of you online. I have missed the community of it. And yet, life has changed. You heard, we were bursting out at the seams, and we need space. We needed space to move in here. Well, now we're bursting in other ways online. And we're bursting in a whole new experience and expression of what it means to be spiritual community. And so the brick and mortar footprint is changing, but who we are and what we do isn't. And to be in community with you on Wednesdays and Sundays and just to hang out, man, we need more of that. You need to be in the room here, you guys. You need to be in classes. You need to be here in the room. You need to be on Wednesday nights when we start that again. You need to be on the Sunday night, the new Sunday night online gathering. There's so much good that happens when we're just together in family, in community, hanging out. And we need this today in our ever so overwhelmingly device-driven and online lives, don't we? Oh, man. It's really extraordinary. And you can work from home, and you can watch your movies from home, and you can shop from home, and you can have your food delivered from home, and you can FaceTime with your family from home. Man, that's a lot of home. Not necessarily, home's not a bad thing, but we also need each other, and we need the rub elbows, and we need the differences, and we need the other ideas, and we don't want to just live in our own little echo chambers and our own little bubbles that say the world looks, the only way the world looks is the way that I see it, right? Which is why we hang out together and we do things together. I loved yesterday, we had 32 people in the room stuffing a mailing, which could be like super boring. But man, you could hear The joy in the room, the chatter, the talking, the getting to know new people, a beautiful mix of all kinds of people in the room, including little ones and teens. And it was such a joy to be a part of, so that we could stuff the envelopes, right? There's always so much more going on. And when we're in that community, that's food for our soul. It's food for our heart. It's food for our experience of oneness, not just the intellectual idea of oneness. And what was also super amazing is that it was a gorgeous day yesterday, like it is today, and you're here. Holy moly. It's awesome, right? Because there's something of value. But I have to tell you, last night, oh my gosh, I opened all my windows. Did you open your windows? For those of you who haven't suffered the brutal Dallas summer, I know you've been suffering elsewhere for the summer. So we had a hint of that fall for us. For me, it felt like my childhood. Those long summer evenings, do you remember them? Those long summer evenings, I'm going to really date myself today, right? Okay, so y'all can date yourself with me. And we would play and play until we'd play kick the can until you could hardly see the can anymore, right? And play hide and go seek and all those games. And my mother, I kid you not, I'm completely honest, had a large cowbell from Switzerland. And that was the universal neighborhood signal. It's time to go home. Nobody else needed a signal because you could hear that cowbell all through the neighborhood. And when it rang, it was time to go home. And I was really reflecting on those memories, right? I mean, I rode bikes. Bike was freedom, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. And I remember so when we got, man, we could not have been more than 8 or 9. And we would ride not only over our neighborhood, we would ride all over our little town. And down the road, about a mile away, there was this long, winding hill. No helmet, no pads, no hands when you were really good at it. The whole way down. Oh my gosh. The wind in your hair, arms out to the sides. Who could get down the fastest? Right? Oh, total freedom. I remember my cousin coming one time from Germany and going, wow, you're so free. We don't have this. Well, my son didn't either. I remember when my mother said, no, you have to stay with him at the park. I was like, well, you didn't. And she said, yes, but it's different now. And I learned that when I took him to the park, I had to stay there. So we bought a house right on the back side of the school. I looked for a house where I could give my son some freedom. So the house that we bought had an alleyway this way and an alleyway that way. And here was the school and the big field. And then we were backed up to the alley. And that was my son's freedom. 2 alleys and the school backyard. He felt free. I kept kicking him out. Go play. Just like my mom did, right? But always within visual sight. So he could feel free, and I knew that he was safe. He had very limited TV watching, right? Very limited amount of devices, and he was required to figure out what to do when he was bored. My son said to me just the other day, he said, the way that you used to throw me out of the backyard, I said, yeah, just like my mother did. He said, I can't do that with Aria. Our backyard has no shade. And it's tiny and there's nowhere for her to go. I can't even let her out on the front street because we live in a busy neighborhood on a busy street. And I don't know how much she's watching television with her mom, but she's watching way more television with us than I grew up with you. And she's already been given her sister's old phone. Even though it's not hooked up, but she can now play anytime she wants on that device. Do you see the changes? And he said, I can't do what you did. And I said, I couldn't do for you what my mother did for me either. But what we can do is pay attention to the experience that we want Aria to have, that I wanted you to have. So these changes are inevitable. The moving forward, or maybe, who knows, maybe it's just moving sideways, I don't know. But the changing things, these changing things are constantly unfolding. And our job is to decide how we're going to take up the changes, right? That is the fundamental spiritual gift that we have, the gift of choice. How are we going to move with the change? Are we going to embrace it? Are we going to just whole hog go for it and not care because it's inevitable anyway? What can we do? Or are we going to consciously pick and choose our way through to the experience that we want to have in the midst of everything changing? My stepfather was always looking in the past. Actually, he looked so far in the past, I will never forget. We were having a conversation, well, he was having a monologue about women in the ministry and about gay men being allowed to be a bishop in the church that he was in. And in the midst of all of that, he brought up the Spanish Inquisition. And he said, can you imagine the kind of commitment those priests had to do that? And I thought, can you imagine the horrific things that they did to other people? Because they could only see it one way. I thought that. I literally couldn't get any words out of my mouth. I had absolutely no idea. And that's what can happen to us if we are always only looking into the past. It was better then. Well, it was different. Was it better? I don't know. In 1970, have you seen the meme about women in the 1970s? They couldn't do this and they couldn't do that and they couldn't have this and they couldn't have that and da-da-da-da-da. And, I think about my mother. She left my dad in 1972, and I was reading all of that. She could barely get a job, and I'm surprised that she could rent an apartment. In 1972. It's mind-boggling, right? So the past is different. Not necessarily better, not necessarily worse, just different. While change is constant, the future is inevitable. That's my own aphorism. Thank you, Birdhead. I wrote that and I thought, man, that's good. While change is constant, the future is inevitable. So that's what I love, this song, the circle of life, right? And some of us are left behind, and some of us are soaring, and some of us have scars, and some of us are just trying to get by. And as individuals, families, organizations, and as humanity, life is always changing into the future. And that future is ours to create. Or we can cling to what we know. This is a transformation philosophy. Science of mind is a transformation philosophy. It's a liberation philosophy, and it allows us to embrace and make choices about the changes and welcome the future, even if it's scary, uncomfortable, and a big unknown. So that's what we're doing here at CSL Dallas. Life has changed, right? You saw the brick and mortar buildings businesses go away. Amazon has taken over everything. There's all kinds of, you can do everything online. I mean, it's just a really fascinating change that we've been on. And the good news is we've been able to reach people all over the world. We've been able to support people who no longer want to drive at night, to take classes. Being online has been this extraordinary expansion for the gift that we have as CSLDallas and the science of mind. That's why, as we let go of the past, we step into whatever CSLDallas 3.0 is going to be. We might not know exactly what that is, but that future is inevitable. Why? Because we choose it. That's why. Because that is the story we're telling, and that is the future that we plan to narrate into being. So how do you build a future? How are we going to build our future collectively together here at CSLDallas? And you build your future in the inevitable changes that are coming down the pike for you. Maybe today, maybe next week, next year, maybe in 10 years. But as we said, the future is inevitable. So the first thing is we learn to trust life and spirit. When we moved into this place, when we were finished, we did not have 2 dimes to rub together. That was the leap of faith it was to move into this space. We used every penny that we had. We used every ounce of our volunteers. By the time that 5 months was over, they were collapsed, including Jason falling asleep right here on this platform. He saw me passed out somewhere on the floor going, oh my gosh. But we trusted the impulse that said we have to do this. We're trusting the impulse that says we have to free up our resources so that CSLDallas can continue to do its good work in the world. It is imperative when we are moving into the future, building a future, that we stay connected to each other, to our families. Stay connected to positivity. Stay connected to those people who are moving into the future and who are not just clinging to the past. Stay connected to and stay involved, which is what creates belonging. Belonging is not, what should we say? It's not pixie dust. Somebody doesn't sprinkle belonging on us, right? Belonging comes because we choose to get involved. We choose to be a part of something. And we discover one day, we wake up, we discover, and we're like, oh, wow, I belong to a community. I belong in my circle of friends. I belong in my chosen family because I made those choices. Do you see? You got to ride the waves, you guys. The most frustrating thing I learned at the beginning of moving into this science of mind was that it was not a long, steady uphill climb into nirvana. I wanted my money back. No, I'm doing all this. I'm not supposed to ever have any problems ever again. Yeah, right? We have less imaginary problems. And when we do have things show up, we actually know how to move through them. So we have to ride the waves. And you can either, succumb to the waves, or we can choose to get up on our surfboard, can't we? Yeah. Or you can say, oh my God, look at the waves. Or you can say, oh my God, look at the waves. Right? Let's go. Let's do it. So fear or faith, right? Faith rides the waves. Trust the process. And learn to keep letting go. This is the biggest advice when people come to me with their children, especially their teenagers, and they're struggling with how annoying they are. And I remind them that your teenagers are trying to get you to let go. My idea about child rearing is that babies are so cute, so you won't kill them. And teenagers are so awful, so you'll let them go. Yes? Tell me I'm wrong. In between, there's a whole lot of joy and heartache, right? But the keep letting go, the moment a child is birthed, we have begun letting that child go. The moment a new thing has started, it is going to flower and fruit and become amazing. And to somewhere along the line, we will let it go. To keep finding the wisdom and the balance when it is time to let go. And the piece of this is that it's nurturing. It's nurturing the process of letting go. Midwifing the future. That's what we're doing right now at CSL Dallas. We're midwifing a future that we don't know what it's going to look like, just as we gestate and midwife a child, and we do not know what that child is going to be when they're 30, who they're going to be, what they're going to be like. But we nurture them into their thing, right? For me, it was nature and academia. My son couldn't care less about either one of them. For him, it was uniforms and service. My granddaughter, oh, she didn't care about any of that. None of those. I swear to you, she's going to grow up to be an actor and a director. Right? And she just wants to pretend. Let's just pretend, and she's going to tell you how you are going to play and what you are to say and what you are to do. She's going to be a great director someday. But do you see? We nurtured the future that is being unfolding before us. We nurture it into its greater yet to be. And what are we, nurture and midwife, and what are we doing? We're nurturing it to the vision of a healthy child, the vision of a happy family, or a family that is learning and growing together, the vision of a community that is connected, whether online or in person, across the miles, across the internet, a vision of an organization that is growing in every way it can, expanding in new ways, giving its gift in new ways, and continually holding that the science of mind is a relevant and valuable philosophy that makes a difference in each one of our lives and will make a difference for humanity. And that's what we're up to in the midst of the change. So right now we're engaged in the letting go, and we get to live through the chaos. Have you seen all the boxes? Oh, God. The boxes and the not yet, right? So we're going to start covering the windows of the spaces over here. You have to be in a work party to get a sneak peek. Because we're going to start building that back up again, making it cool and new, and embracing the newness of what's being birthed. This circle of life is forever going on, and we are jumping smack dab into the middle of it. We love you. Thank you for being part of CSL Dallas.
Are you laughing at me over there? I hear you. Okay, guys, you ready for change? Yeah. Only good change I remember was getting out of diapers. But with that, let's go. Hey, whether you're online or whether you're here in the sanctuary with us in person, we ask that you please give generously to the work of CSL Dallas. We need you so that CSL Dallas can share the message and offer all of our programs. Activate the law of giving and receiving and make a difference through your giving. Let's begin by affirming our abundance together. I am guided and inspired by the living Spirit. Everything that I do is a success. I always have enough abundance. There is a continuous movement of supply and money towards CSL Dallas and our community to be a prosperous, successful, spiritual center as we begin this new chapter of unfolding good. And so it is. Now that's a heck of an abundance statement, guys. So let me tell you what's going on. Well, first let me advise you too. Not only can you give in the baskets, but you can use text giving, you can use PayPal, auto tithing. You can grab one of these little things like me and drop it in so you feel like you're actually giving. You can write a check and save us the credit card fee. There's all kinds of ways that you can give around here. So please give generously. Now we will be having open house on October 6th, which gives you a chance to see all the innovations and all the new opportunities for growth in our new space. CSL Dallas will be closed on the week of the 9th so that the staff and the contractors can finish getting over into the new space. Okay? Now, voter registration announcements. Are you feeling stuck? Do you want, oops.
Wait, you know what? Something has happened to the announcements. You don't have the most, you do not have the most recent, yep, that would have been me.
You must have changed it last night.
Yep, that would have been me. Because I was working late yesterday. Okay, so let me just tell you what it is, because I can't find it either. So voter registration, we're going to have Erin right there. Erin Lorraine is a deputized voter registrar. So the next 2 Sundays, the 15th and the 22nd, Erin will be here to help you get your voter registration. Please remember, Texas is one of the 6 or 7 states that are definitely having some challenges with voter suppression. People are finding that their voter registration has actually been changed or nullified. So you please check your voter registration. You can do that at this just by Googling how do you do that in Texas. You can also register to vote online, but when you hit the submit button, it does not go anywhere. You must print it out and mail it in. Yes, there is no online submission. Do not be fooled. So you can print it out and mail it in. You can print it out and give it to Erin the next 2 Sundays. You can have Erin help you get registered. If you've moved, if you're new to Dallas, if you've moved recently, make sure that you're registered in your district. And the end of registration is very early in October. So that's why we're having the voter registration assistance here in the next 2 weeks. So that's that announcement. The other thing I want to say is about being closed. We're closed this week because we decided to have pity on ourselves and all of the volunteers and not make you move all the desks and heavy furniture. So we are actually having we're having moving folks come in. They're going to move the big piece of glass that we have over there, the beautiful fountain that doesn't work, and all the desks and big furniture. So we're moving the offices, but this does not mean this side is open. We are not done with construction, and we are not done putting it back together again. So the staff will be over here, but everything else that you come here to do at CSL Dallas, you will continue to do where you've been doing it over in Suite 115 or in the sanctuary. Because we're closing off 113 now to make it special for the big reveal. Okay, so the big reveal will be that first Sunday in October. Okay, so we'll put some signs up, closed, and, would trust you to only peek in. Okay, so that was, I wrote all that down, but you somehow didn't get it, sorry. I did it too late.
I got the headlines, but details are important, so hopefully you guys got all the details from Petra, okay? And keep in mind, details are important, okay? So, another detail, let me throw this detail in real quick, okay? Adventures in Spirits, stuffing envelopes, when we said those 30-some-odd names, well, one detail was left off, and that's that Jeff and Karen Fritz were here also. So, thank you, Karen.
Oh,
there you go.
I'm sorry, Jeff and Karen.
Somebody else was there, too. With Sharon, nobody in the audience cared enough to tell me that you were there, but they did tell me about Jeff and Karen's. So, hey, guys, with that, make sure that you're conscious of voter registration and the things that Petra was telling us about the details. Let me tell you now what I was going to tell you. Are you feeling stuck? Do you want to feel more invigorated, inspired, and productive, but just can't seem to find the super sauce to make that happen? Well, you're not alone. This can happen even more often after we have some setbacks. Join practitioner Carol Merlot, who I saw earlier, as she reaches for her FIRE formula, F-I-R-E. This workshop is designed to help you focus on empowering positive thoughts, ignite your passion, and build lasting relationships. Work to create habits that bring results. This is going to be online only, and it's September 22nd from 1 o'clock to 3:30 p.m. There is power for good that seeks to express itself as you. Discover this good that is always available as you deepen your practice, strengthen your foundation, and align in your word. Experience the faith and the fire of a life lifted by a dedicated prayer practice. The Power of Your Word course starts on September 30th. That's the Power of Your Word. And it's going to be online from 7 o'clock to 9:30 p.m. Central Time. And today on campus, and this Wednesday, Watch for the emails and the texts so that you know when and what we're doing through September so that you don't get left out.
So Wednesday night, bring your tools, bring your painting, those of you who would like to help paint, and we will start unpacking things. So if you like to organize and sort, be there Wednesday night.
Good. Hey guys, our spiritual coaches are available every Sunday for your spiritual support. You will receive a powerful spiritual mind training after the celebration today, either in person or across the breezeway or online and on Zoom. Use the link that's being posted in the chat right now. We love being in community with you, so now join me in standing. We finally got to this part. Join me in standing, guys, okay? As we sing out the celebration with our fabulous music team.
One, two, three.